Now, if you follow national news at all, you might be wondering how the whole tariff negotiation situation might be affecting our housing market. And honestly, how's it going, you guys? My name is Christopher McGee. I'm the owner of Halcyon Real Estate. I'm affiliated with the Keller Williams Market Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today is April 14th, 2025, and this is the numbers and the nuance. This is the video series you come to weekly in order to know exactly what Utah's housing market is looking like. I'm tracking numbers right off the MLS weekly, and so first I'm going to tell you what I see and how I interpret it, and then I'll just give you the charts that I make so that you can see these data points plotted over several weeks of time, and you can see how things are trending for yourself, make your own conclusions if they might be different than mine. So without any further ado, let's get to it. Utah's housing market right now is in a great place, particularly considering where we've been the last few years. Okay, right now, inventory continues to climb, more buyers are buying, more sellers are selling. Average home prices have been coming very moderately down this last quarter, and things that have needed to happen in our market are happening, and they're not happening too fast, and that's good. Now, if you follow national news at all, you might be wondering how the whole tariff negotiation situation might be affecting our housing market, and honestly, it's gonna take time to tell. We've had no negative repercussions here as of yet. And if there are any negative repercussions, just know that it will continue to be volatile as long as those negotiations are in play. And then it will take time to see how things got settled unfolds in our economy, particularly in Utah's housing market. I will say that Utah has one of the strongest economies in the nation. We don't expect much job loss at all. We expect things to be pretty good here. Now, speaking of those tariff negotiations, because they had an effect on bond rates last week, they in turn had an effect on interest rates last week, which shot up and then started to come moderately back down. And they're still in the process of coming moderately back down. So you'll see that interest rates are now up from where they were last week and the week before. We're still trending down from the beginning of the year. And again, I don't have a crystal ball, nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody can tell you whether interest rates will continue at this point to go up or down as long as those tariff negotiations are in play. But you know I'll keep you in the know. Let's go ahead and check out these numbers. All right, you guys, here's where things are in the Utah housing market as of April 14th, 2025. Our current inventory stands at 11,088 homes available on our market. That is up from last week, continuing its uptrend. Last week, our average days on market for the homes that were actively on the market, the amount of time it took for them to accept an offer, that is 57 days. Now, you should know that the median time is more like 30 days, okay? So there's a big difference between what's average and what's median, what more people have an experience at. But whether you look at the average or you look at the median, this data set is trending down. Last week's average list price came to $675,857, up literally a touch, like $200 from the previous week, still trending very moderately down. Now, last week's average sold price came just a little bit under that in the buyer's favor again, $664,521. And so the difference last week between average list price and average sold price came again in the favor of the buyer to the tune of $11,336. Importantly, last week's median sold price came just over $500,000, and it is important to understand that difference, that there's a lot of very high value homes in Utah, but most people aren't experiencing 700K prices. They're experiencing more like 500K prices. Last week, the number of homes sold in Utah came to 504. That's down from last week, but this is trending a bit up. Right now, the number of homes that we have currently under contract comes to 5,475, continuing its uptrend. Last week, the number of price reductions we had came to 1,189. That's up from the previous week and trending up. Last week, the number of listing contracts that were either canceled, expired, or withdrawn from the MLS came to 299. That's down from the previous week. We expect it to come down after the first of every month, as it did, and this is still trending slowly down from the beginning of the year. And that is it for this week. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about how I presented any of that information, hit me in the comments. I'll be happy to respond. Know that there is a video that explains what it means for buyers or sellers when each of these data sets goes up or down. So So I'll flag that up at the top corner of the screen. And if you or anybody you know is interested or looking to move in Utah in the coming months, I hope you're comfortable reaching out to me. I'm gonna be happy to hear from you and happy to help. I think I know this market like the back of my hand, and I'm gonna make sure you're educated on the market and educated on the process and know what to expect, what's happening next. I'll make sure everything's well taken care of. And if you're the kind of person who likes to track this information, if you wanna have your head wrapped around Utah's housing market, there will be no better way than to hit that subscribe. Keep up on it with me from week to week. Thanks for watching this week, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.